could buy coal for a small amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
No a bag, you hadn't money enough for a bag, so you got so much bag. They weighed it like a big scale where you used to put potatoes into
Mm-hmm.
think that's how they weighed the coal. And I can remember the man yet, I can see his face yet.
Really?
The bonnet on and his wizened face and his white face.
So was it all just the wee bits and pieces that you could get for?
And of course when you hadn't coal, you put briquettes. Lots of people sell briquettes. They were blocks of damp coal. They lasted a long time, but it didn't give a good heating. Right. So it was good if you were going out and you wanted to keep the fire going, you put a briquette on.
All right. Okay.
And sometimes you had the money for the briquettes, you made your own briquettes with a bag and get dross out the bunker. You know, the bunker where the coal was in the kitchen, where you lived. And you put it in a bag and damped it, put it on. It didn't burn so quick when you do it.
It was just totally different. But fortunately I could adapt. You know, I'd always adapt. But and then I found difficulties sometimes with I used words that the people, another couple in the other big room had two wee boys, and I can't mind why, but I said to her something, "Oh, you're a wee loony." Well, you see, up in there, in the northeast, you're loonies and quinies, wee boys and wee girls. But she took offence because she thought I meant a lunatic. Well, I couldn't blame her, you know, and I didn't know why. You know, she was ignoring me and that.
Me and my daughter-in-law, she 3 children, we come to Glasgow. I enjoy Glasgow. I because the people to Glasgow is interested. Yeah.
It wasn't a joke doing the fire in the morning, scraping the ashes out, taking them out in the mud.
I would imagine that would have been terrible.
So that was a wee thing with Lane there, and that was called Milton Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And here, this face here was a rag store, and we had a wee club up above it called the Raggy Club, because it was a rag store. And I'm saying to myself, I was down at the Dundasfield the other week to see some friends. They had it all done up with lovely, it's lovely done up. And there was one woman there complaining, and I says, "You've got a beautiful club here." It was always the same when I was there. They don't appreciate it. And I says, "Well, we had an old club there in the Raggy. All it was an old torn billiard table. And that was all, and a fire. We paid threepence a week to get a heat in the winter time. They don't know they were closing.
I always made my husband, and I used to bake. My husband would out at 6 o'clock in the morning in the bank. So on a Monday I used to get up and do my work. I had a huge wash house in the back house, you know, which was great, with 2 deep sinks, and had an Acme ringer between it, you know. And there was a big gas boiler and a pulley. So washing was I could wash any time. It never inconvenienced anybody. So Monday morning, I used to soak my white clothes on a Sunday night in one of the sinks, put them through the wringer, put them in the boiler, and then wash, my other clothes. That was Monday. Tuesday, I used to get up and do a baking. Whatever, scones, a few cakes, emper biscuits, something like that. And then I did another baking on a Friday afternoon. And after a while, Christina, my second daughter, used to help me. Used to make a big Madeira cake, that's what my husband liked, and cover it with icing and then coconut. And I made shortbread and I made an apple pie. I made different things. I used to try everything, eclairs, meringues, all that kind of things.
I have in the fridge, I have cassava. You peel. After you put in the saucepan, you put water, you put fish, you put oil, you put onion, all.
Yeah.
You cook.
In a pot?
Yeah.
Okay, and it would just cook away and then reduce Is it like a stew?
Cook it maybe 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours, oh.
Mm.
Vegetables and fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cassava leaves. Big raisin. The raisin you cut, you cook again.
Okay.
I sometimes see them coming from the supermarket, bags and
2
bags.
trolleys?
The mother out with the basket and she didn't come back with much, just enough to do for the day. Even during the war, I mean, I was away during the war, but the people were rationed, but they made good out of rations. Similarly, some of the women says they were well better fed with ration eggs or powdered eggs. And things like that. They experimented and they done all right with the few things they had.
friend of mine was already living in what they called a service flat, and I was for a place in the Gorbals. Her husband had been in a reserved occupation and they ended up in Glasgow and she had this service flat. And they got a corporation house. You know where the subway is off Eglinton Street? It used to be on Eglinton Street. The actual subway's been shifted. And they got a corporation house up above the subway in the Eglinton Street. And she was given up, you know, the room. It was a huge room. That I believe, of course I heard, you know, that these houses, it was Jewish families that lived in them. Each floor, a family had, there was 2 huge rooms, a kitchen, another room, 2 huge rooms, a wee room between them, a kitchen, and then another passageway with a room and a bathroom. And they were one house at one time, but by the time we got them, they were divided into what they called service flats. So Janet says, if you come, I'll take you to the factor. And that's what happened, and we got a room, which was really lucky, you know, because it was so hard to get places then. And it was this huge room. The bathroom was no use as a bathroom, but had the lavatory in it, and you went there and drew your water. So I washed all my dishes in a basin, you know. Hugh went to the public baths for a bath, but I had a big tin bath, you know, that I bathed in and washed my clothes in and everything, and a wee gas. Totally different from Nairn, because by the time I left, you know, we'd had a council house, you know, with your hot water and whatnot. Then I had to get used to that, boiling a kettle on the wee stove and cooking in the wee stove.
And when we come to London, my grandson, it was 1 month.
Oh wow, so he was really small.
Now 12 years.
Oh,
Good.
good.
First grandson, Gavi, he has now May 20 years.
Wow.
Oida 15, and then Michelle 12. The grandchildren is my first children now is he learned to Anisland College. He's finished college. Now he start the activity for go to university.
Can I ask you as well, when making friends and getting to know people?
Yeah, many come to see me.
Mm-hmm.
If I am a problem, they come many.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
November, I was 70 years. Many people come to to congratulate me. They give me the flower. I'm crying because I have many children to my country, to Congo.
Children in the Congo?
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, my father, he was a gaffer, and then he went back to the moulding again, because there were that many people going up for jobs. He preferred going working as a moulder. But my brothers all worked in there. I hated it. Oh, I knew my mother showed it up where I was going. So I joined the army to get out it. You're coming back like miners. I mean, there's no canteen in these days. And my father was out at 6, father and brothers was out at 6 in the morning. I didn't go out to 8 o'clock, I worked in the dressing shop. The pipes come up, they get clean. And sometimes you couldn't see your neighbour for the dust. There was a guy put a big chimney sweep through the thing, and you were standing staining pipes, sleeves rolled up and open there. I can't stand the cold. Maybe it was out in the Far East that caused that, but anyway, my mother made up pieces. She'd make a breakfast piece for my father and my brothers, and then a dinner pieces. And they were working in muck and that. Their faces were black as miners. And yet, when they took their dinners, they were not a place to wash their hands. Wash your hands nowadays.
Just eat your piece.
And sometimes there was only a certain amount of things you could put in a piece. Cheese, corn mutton. It was cheap in the days. Corn mutton was a cheap thing. Maybe spam, I think spam. But you had to mix all them every day. So if you had cheese and you wanted to melt it, what they done was the shoveling the sun on, you put your piece in the shovel and put it in the fire, underneath the fire, to melt the cheese. The breakfast piece, I hadn't a breakfast, I just had a lunch piece. Lunch, and it was lunch in the days. You took all pieces, and there were no canteens, and mother was making, she put 2 hours making pieces up for us going to the foundry in the morning. She'd make them up at night before.
Now I can travel anywhere, and it's great. You know, a day out they never appealed to me, or, you know, getting away somewhere, if the bus, the train, or whatever. And the first time I was ever in a car, I was 18, and that's when I left Nairn to go to work in London, and a Rolls Royce met me at the station to take me to where I was going to work. And I'd ask him to stop because I was going to be sick in the car. It's funny how some things stick in your mind, you know. And then that's them all in Nairn on holiday.
Just a lovely photograph.
And Catherine Olavona costume my mother knitted, a knitted costume. And when they used to get in the water, you know, the costume used to poke. They still talk about that, you know. They all had them at one time. But by this time, I think Margaret and Christina had managed to get bought costumes, you know.